I just wanted to go ahead and briefly go over the three main participation elements and how to use them on Learned. I just wanted to go in a little bit more detail so you all are covered as we enter our second week and where we're going to be using all by the end of the second week, you will have used all of three of these forms of participation. So the three main forms that we have are our discussion board, journals, and then also our quizzes. And all of these can be found in the various weekly modules and our different projects. So for example, in Project 0, Week 2, we have our very first journal activity. And this is the Dean of Students letter. So whenever you have these journals, they can be various things. So they can be an actual activity like this. They could be a reading response. They could be just answering a few questions to start thinking and reflecting on some things. It just really depends from week to week. So what you would just do is you'd simply click to launch. You would follow the directions listed here, and then you'd go ahead and create your journal entry. So you could, directly write your entry, or you could actually just attach the file. So if you've created it in Word, or you did this through Google Drive and then, just saved it as a PDF or something, you would just go ahead and attach it there, and I can, view it. And then after you submit that, you can see your grade after I've graded it. You'll also see how many points these are worth. And if I make any comments, you'll see them here as well, just directly in here. So the next form of activity we would possibly be doing is the discussion board. And the discussion board will always be where you are responding to a peer. This very first week was just different since we were all just introducing ourselves. But for example, in week 2, we will be doing the our very first activity where we have our initial post and then our peer response, where you're responding directly to a peer. So everybody should be familiar with how to create a thread once you do that. So once you're in your forum that you click to from your Project 0, you'll go ahead and create a thread. And then when you are responding to your peer, we'll wait till the very next day after everything's due. If you're trying to get ahead of yourself, just as long as you're following the due date deadline. And you'll go ahead and respond to the person directly below you. So if you're the person at the very top of the forum, then you'll just go ahead, you'll go ahead and respond to the person right below you. If you're at the bottom of the forum, you'll just go all the way up and respond to the very first person at the top of the forum. And that way we kind of just have a circle of discussion and everybody will respond to at least one person. If you're wondering how to respond to somebody, you would just simply click on the thread, you'd read their post, and then you'd follow the response directions. And then you would just go ahead and hit reply, where you would just type in your message, and once you do, it'll pop up right below the peer that you were just responding to. To see this in action, you would just, you see the initial post, and then you would have your post right below and the response. And then our third form of participation comes in the form of quizzes, and then these are just given right after any major reading sometimes. Sometimes I'll quiz you on the actual project itself. After you've read the prompt and watched the video, I'll quiz you to make sure you understand everything that's going on for that assignment. And pretty much everybody has at least completed the quiz, but if you're still not sure, you would just find it, you click to launch, and then you start the quiz. And you get as many times as you need to get the perfect score up until the deadline of the quiz. And then it'll flag it as late. It'll still be available to you, but it would be flagged as late. But I think that covers everything for participation. If you still have any questions, go ahead and post them to the Writers Lounge, and I'll be sure to answer them as soon as they're up there, and then that way your peers can see them too if they're having any troubles with them. So week 2 of our Project 0 is when we'll be doing the journal activity for the first time and our discussion board back and forth. So be sure to let me know if you're having any issues with Learn as you finish up those activities. All right, have a good one.